What's up, everyone? Shiraz only back here for another tutorial. This time it's going to be a three-part series on VOCODEX, okay? Which is this plugin right here. So let's get started. First thing I want to cover is for all those viewers out there who do not know exactly what a VOCODEX is. VOCODEX is a vocoder, and a vocoder is any kind of how do I say, like a machine or a program or anything that mixes a carrier synthesizer, which in normal cases will be something that will be like a synthesizer or a piano or anything like that, and then a modulator, which in normal cases will be vocal, and then they will mix it together. Okay, normally from the modulator, so from the vocals, they will take the format characteristics of it, which means they will take like the a, e, o, u's, okay, not the tonal qualities of it, and then they will mix it together with the carrier, in this case let's say a piano, and then they will make the voice have a pitch to it. So if you guys think of auto-tune in a lot of ways is a form of vocoding. If you guys heard like robotic sounds, like that's vocoding. If you guys look at like any kind of films, like sci-fi films, if you've guys seen like Wall-E or like, yeah, there's like a million animation films that use vocoding, you know, like to create that robot effect or to create like a very human sound, but at the same time a very futuristic sound. So that's generally what a vocoder is, okay? So VOCODEX is the built-in, it's like the default plugin for vocoding in FL. And I'm starting out with these two. So for the modulator, I have these vocals. Check it out.
Lonely day, lonely night.
It was created using Vocaloid, which is like an artificial synthesizer, computer synthesizer program. Okay, and then this is what I have for my carrier. And for this, I have Harmor. Okay, created this using Harmor. And what I did is I routed them to a bus, to a mixer, and then I routed both of these to one VOCODEX channel right here. All right, and to which I will enable my VOCODEX. Okay, so let's look at the basic functions, the top functions here in the gray section. Okay, first thing is you guys have to select, you know, if you guys just add it, it will probably sound like this. So if I just add it,
Only day.
sounds like this. So you guys have to select which one. So right click on here and then select vocals or whatever you're using as the modulator, and then right click here, for which I will select, or you guys could just select one or two. Okay, and then here you can see that it's encoded. Okay, another way you could do this is this LR encoding right here, left right, and if you do this, then whatever goes in the left channel, you know, is going to be the modulator, and whatever goes in the right channel will be the carrier. So left channel, right channel. If you mix it,
Only day.
yep, it'll be the opposite. Okay. All right, so that's that. Draft mode is basically when you guys ever see draft on any kind of synthesizer, it just means it's like the eco-friendly, it's like the lower CPU version. Think of rough draft like when you're writing an essay. So it uses it doesn't use CPU and that much, and then like there will be some like glitches in it, when you're playing it, but when you're rendering it out later, like you know when you're rendering it out later, it won't have that problem. Okay, so let's say I save it, then when you render it out, then it's obviously going to be a non-draft version, so like a full render version. So that's what it is. Threaded basically means that you're using a multi-threaded, multi-core CPU to back up this program, which you could enable. All right, so that's for the gray sections right here. The wet, this is basically how much signal gets passed through the VOCODEX. So if I have it up here, then it'll be much louder. Wait a second. Versus no signal that passes through at all. And here's the default sound goodizer. This basically adds a sound, is a built-in sound goodizer, and this adds a little bit of the mid and high frequencies if you guys put it up. Okay. Use according to ear. And then we have the modulator volume right here. So if you guys put this up, this is the dry modulator volume that gets passed. And this works with the high pass right here. And there's a high pass built into the modulator because, like I told you before, the format characteristics are what you want. Like format right here means like the sound, like the I, E, O, U's, okay? The vowel or like the word characteristics are what you want in the modulator. So there's a high pass filter built into it, so that it will be easier to detect the sibilant, like the S's and all that stuff, right? So that it could produce a better vocoding ability. You can see the frequency up here that is that's in charge of, and then carrier, the original carrier volume, and then you have a low pass ability, and again in the carrier you want a low pass ability because low pass you want the tones in it, right? Like the fundamental frequencies in it. That's why there's a built-in low pass. Okay. Generally, you're gonna just have this, at the bottom. Okay, and then you have the added noise level, and this just builds in added noise to it. Let me turn all of this off first. Build in noise to it, so. And what this basically does is add like a certain amount of noise. I think it's white noise. I'm not exactly sure on that. But what noise does is two things. First of all, it fills up the spectrum so that it sounds brighter, it sounds better. And another thing for here is it reinforces the sibilant characteristics so that you want a better modulator, a better format characteristic to it. Okay? So no noise. You should obviously hear the noise to it, and there's a high pass frequency just like the modulator. Okay. And here we have the contours. This is actually from carrier, from consonants to modulators to noise. Okay, so these upper two and these bottom two are separate. You guys have to at least turn on one to have an output to the other. What this does is, let's say for example, if I have from carrier to noise, it will take the original, it will take the contour, the volume levels basically of the carrier signal, okay, which is the bass right here, and then it will add that to noise. All right, and then if I do that to modulator, then this will take the carrier signals, and then they will add that to the modulator, which will make it more bassy, okay, rather than sounding more human and more vocally. It will make it sound more bassy. And then from consonants is they're taking the consonants of the modulator, not the carrier. Okay, so like the sibilant words of the consonants, which are one of the most important when we hear a sound. Consonants are what defines the sound. So they're taking the consonants of it, and then you could feed it back to the modulator, which will make, which will reinforce basically the how do I say? Yeah, which will reinforce the vocal effects. Okay, the S sounds. And then you could have the consonants and take it to the noise, which will make it, which will make the noise sound more like a human talking. You know, this noise right here, not just random noise. So right now it sounds like random noise. Right? But the noise will be more shaped like a human, whatever your modulator is. Okay, so these are the functions right here. And wait up for parts 2 and 3. I'm about to hit you left and right.